Hey ho people, it's Stylosa and this is the goddamn 6th day of the Steam Summer Sale, good lord. So what have we got? Well, first up we've got Call of Duty Black Ops, which I'm not too fond of Call of Duty games, so I can't really recommend that to you. Problem with these are, Modern Warfare 3 is the latest one, so the entire multiplayer community moves over to that and leaves this in the dust, although it will have some kind of community left. As far as the single player goes, it's just a crazy, it's a typical Call of Duty game, it's just a mental, idiotic action film. Surprisingly, it is quite enjoyable, but for 50% off, that's $19.99 in the UK. And in the US, that is, I cannot tell you because my little plugin's broke, that's good, but it'll still be 50% off. It's not worth it, I would just ignore it. Next thing we've got is Limbo. Now, Limbo is absolutely pure. This is like a psychological platform, almost horror type game. The visuals are fantastic in this game, you know. It's so simple. It's literally black and white, but it works, and it's such a fantastic game. If you don't own Limbo, you really need to buy this. This is 75% off, $2.49 in the US, £1.74 in the UK, which is fantastic. And for you Euro guys, that's €2.49. So buy that all day long. Next thing we've got is, well, I mean, we've got Grand Theft Auto. This is the complete pack. Now, this is worth it all day long. The amount of game you get, just the sheer content is ridiculous. You get Grand Theft Auto and GTA 2. Now these are free anyway off Rockstar's site, so you know you could just go and get them for free if you really wanted to. But you know, obviously they're so old, they're fairly unplayable. But you also get Grand Theft Auto 3, Grand Theft Auto Vice City, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, Grand Theft Auto 4, and Grand Theft Auto Episodes from Liberty City. Now, the whole pack is £4.99 in the UK, or $12.49 in the US, which is quite the deal. You get a lot of games for this. I can't tell the Euro guys how much it is because my plugin's destroyed itself, but it's still going to be 75% off. The actual daily deal though is, well, I guess it's for the pack. It kind of links to the pack page, but even Grand Theft Auto 4 on its own, that's $4.99. You know, the pack's only, according to this, $4.99, so why the hell would you even buy Grand Theft Auto on its own? I just would buy the pack. It's just mad. Next thing we've got is, I mean, I definitely get Grand Theft Auto. If you've not played it, I mean, everybody must have played Grand Theft Auto by now, but if you've not, then by all means get it, because it's Grand Theft Auto. Grand Theft Auto 4 is obviously the best one, by quite a long shot. Next we've got Company of Heroes. This is a World War II strategy game. I love this game. I mean, I generally like World War II stuff anyway, but this is one of the best RTS games, you know, that has been made. You go and Google the top RTS lists and you'll find Company of Heroes on the top 10 easily. It's a fantastic game. Now it's only £1.74 for Company of Heroes itself. This is 75% off, but you can buy the complete pack. Now I'll give all the prices for this. In the US this is $12.48. In the UK it's £6.73, and in the EU it's €6.23. Now, for that, you get Company of Heroes Opposing Fronts, and Company of Heroes Tales of Valor. While Opposing Fronts and Tales of Valor are okay, Company of Heroes on its own is so cheap. You could argue that it's only really worth getting Company of Heroes. But again, it's so cheap for the pack. I'd have to recommend, you know, you pick up the pack. It's such a fantastic game. It really is. It's just great. And the next thing we've got is Train Simulator 2000. Well, let's give it its proper name, Railworks Train Simulator 2012. How this is even a game, I do not even know. Because what kind of enjoyment do you get out of driving a goddamn train? I mean, plane simulator, I can understand that. You're flying around, you know, you've got some freedom. Train simulator, you're just on a track. I mean, what are you doing? Driving a freight train around. Oh, God, what the hell? And also on the subject of train simulators, why do people even bother train spotting? What is that about? I don't even know. So I can't recommend that game to you, unfortunately, because even calling it a game is quite hilarious. It's 90% off though, which is a massive discount. But no, I can't recommend that to you. Now we've got Spec Ops The Line. This is supposedly not that bad. Now it's a third-person modern era military shooter, so you're thinking, oh god, here we go, Call of Duty strikes again, Battlefield strikes again. Well, no, it's actually got quite a strong story element to it. You know, you make decisions. It's quite adult, quite violent in its nature. But the problem I've got with this is it's not really cheap. You know, we're looking at, in the UK it's £20, in the US it's $33, it's €33, or 33.49 euros and $49. That is not really that much of a discount. The problem is it's such a new game, it's not really going to have that much of a discount. But I'd argue if that was 75% off, I would pick that up, but not at that price. I'm just going to let that go because it's not worth it. Next up is the Indie Bundle 6. Now this contains, for awesome, Defcon, Space Chem, Ticket to Ride and Trauma. Now these are indie games. We all know what indie developers need. They need cash money, so you go and buy their games. If you're sitting there with money to burn, why not pick up the indie bundles? If for some reason you don't want to buy the whole bundle, then, you know, take your pick. I'll leave that to you. The next thing we've got is Wargame European Escalation. Now, it's a game I kind of wanted to pick up. It's like a realistic RTS game, but obviously based, you know, on European warfare. It's set in the modern era, and I don't know. At the time, it was really expensive, but the actual sale is not that. It's not that appealing. It's only 50% off. I think this is another one of them games. If it was 75% off, I probably would pick that up. But needless to say, the actual prices we're looking at is $19.99 for the US. We're looking at $14.99 for the UK and $19.99 for people in Europe. So I don't know. I mean, I say needless to say, I don't think it's worth it at all at that price. I'd like to see it a bit cheaper. Maybe you guys can persuade me otherwise in the comments. Finally, off the daily deals, we've got Stronghold 3. Now, this is a poor game. When it launched, it was absolutely riddled with bugs. It was unstable. It was like terrible. It ran like shite. It was just bad. I was really looking forward to Stronghold 3. Really, really looking forward to it. I absolutely love the old Stronghold games. In case you don't know, it was a case of, you know, you built your stronghold. You know, you had to keep the peons in line. You could siege other strongholds. You could get attacked yourself, depending on what game mode you played. But it was a great game, you know, like a castle simulator, medieval stronghold simulator. But Stronghold 3 is just a massive letdown. It's 66% off. That's £8.49 in the UK, $13.59 in the US, and $10.19 in Europe. And it's not worth it for that, I'm afraid, unfortunately. Now, the community's choice. This is Batman Arkham City. This is the best Batman game to date. You basically roam around Arkham City, it's like old Arkham City. It's a massive super prison inside new Arkham City, where all the super criminals like the Joker, Penguin, and the rest of them are all stashed in, and you have to go around there doing all kind of crazy missions. But it's free roaming, so you can decide, you know, what quests and missions you want to do and all that stuff. But the combat in this game is so absolutely pure, it's unbelievable. I mean, you're the goddamn Batman. You punch people in the face and their face breaks. You get them and you knee them and you do these mad combos. It's dead good. The combat system, I think they called it fluid combat, or they'll give it some fancy name. It's really simple, but really good. That's a great game. That is 66% off. I'm recommending that all day long. That's at $6.79 for the UK. No, I don't know what the US price is because my plugin's broke. This plugin's a bit bad. So I tried to add an extra layer to these where, you know, I'll give you the prices for everything, but to be honest, it doesn't really matter. You know what the percentage off is the same, regardless of what you know, where we are in the world. Okay, so looking at the next community vote, we've got I Divine Cybermancy, which is not very good. We've got Crater, we've got Sanctum, so I'd have to say go for Sanctum. Crater is, it's like a group-based role-playing game in an a post-apocalyptic world. We actually had access to the alpha of this, and I didn't really think that much of it. So, you know, it's sort of like Diablo, which is like a very loose comparison. But no, it's not really that good. I'd have to say Sanctum's probably the best choice there. Now, the current flash sales, we've got Double Fine pack at 75% off. Now, in this, you actually get Costume Quest, Psychonauts, and Stacking. And that's really cheap. That's $7.49 or £5.74 or €6.74 for the whole pack. And you know, you get some good games there. So I'd strongly recommend picking that up if you haven't played any of those games. Sniper Elite is 50% off. Now this is okay, but beyond the slow-mo sniper bullet murder action, there's not really much in the game. You fight, if you get a kill shot, it goes into this like, I mean, it is good, don't get me wrong, this kill shot cam thing, slow motion of the bullet, spins around the bullet and you can watch it go into the heads, you know, like blast the skull apart, it breaks the ribs or blows the legs off. But after you've done this a few times, i.e. you've done the first mission, this gets quite old. And that's all it really has to offer. It's like, ugh, your World War II sniper shooty game, but yeah, it's not worth it. 50% off, it's not really worth it. Duke Nukem Forever, do not buy that, it's an absolute bag of shit. And Binary Domain, this was a bit of a flop as well. Supposedly it's got voice commands where you can shout, you know, and go, you squad member move over here, but it never worked at all. Probably down to it being, or down to the fact I believe it's a Japanese game or something. It never really worked. But it's a third-person shooter, and it's just a bit there. It's not really that dear though. Sorry, it's not really that dear. I'm dribbling. It's the saving's not really that much. It's still going to be 10 quid in England, 66% off. Pff, nah. So just to recap: Call of Duty Black Ops, don't buy. Limbo, buy. Grand Theft Auto, buy. The Pack. Company of Heroes, buy. Train Simulator. Spec Ops: The Line, too expensive. Indie Bundle, buy. Wargame Escalation, European Escalation, I'll get there in the end. I would have liked to have seen it with more off, so no, don't buy. Stronghold, terrible game, do not buy. Buy the older Strongholds, they're better. Batman Arkham City, buy that, it's the current community choice. Buy, that's absolutely fantastic. And buy Arkham City, Arkham Asylum as well, if you can find that, or wait for a daily deal, because that's great as well. I Divine Cybermancy, don't vote for that. Sanctum, vote for that. Crater, you can kind of flip it up between Sanctum and Crater, but I'd probably say Sanctum's a bit better, so go for that. Flash sales, the Double Fine Pack, 75% off. Get that if you've not played the games. Or you're into like your more story-driven games. Sniper Elite, it's not really worth it because it's just a slow-motion sniper simulator, which gets old after the first bloody time it does it, or the first mission. But that's 50% off. Duke Nukem Forever is an absolutely terrible game. Do not buy that, even if it was free. I'd be emailing Steam support saying, excuse me, remove this game off my list. Somewhat like I tried with Alien vs Predator, which is a totally shit game as well. Binary Domain is just terrible, so don't buy that. So, there you go, people. Hopefully I'll catch you for the next Steam Summer Super Sale Steam Guide tomorrow. I'll catch you next time, people.